Good morning.
Good day, loves. We are back for episode 40 of the Holistic Freedom Secrets podcast.
What's up? What's up? I'm Coach Soul.
I'm Coach Tensi. We are co founders of Ufu Child, and everything that we do is rooted in healing and freedom. Ufu means freedom, so we follow a 5-pronged holistic health system, and that is be, cleanse, fuel, move, shine. We came across this by basically getting on this journey of healing was sparked with my mom's cancer diagnosis. We went on this whole journey of researching and poring over different methodologies and different ways to heal naturally through lifestyle. So herbalism, nutrition, cleansing, fast, all of the things, exercise. Like, how can we tackle this? And we came across that a few main themes that are present across all of the healers, everyone's system that works had these 5 elements. So that's why we share this and teach through this 5-prong healing system that we came up with. And it was able to help my mom reverse her diabetes diagnosis within 3 months and cancer within 12 months, and helped me after being diagnosed with chronic anemia after I got pregnant. Helped me reverse that within 2 weeks. So it's pretty cool.
Yep.
And also helped you with, what would you say? I would say beating depression.
Oh, well, yeah, nah, not really.
Okay.
My battle with depression was more so rooted in mental, emotional um, imbalances, and not the ones that you can target directly with nutrition. But um, it helped me remain aware of when my body was reacting negatively to very addictive foods and help me stay away from them.
Mm, very
Absolutely.
good. So that's the B. That's self-awareness.
Oh, I missed. Okay, I must have missed a piece of what you said there. Yeah, B. Yeah, like I said, mental, emotional. So, um, yeah, I just must have skipped the very last part of what you had said there. But
That is okay. It has been a busy, long
morning.
day
Hmm.
yesterday, for me at least. So we caught up on some rest, working on the quality of rest only kept us up through the night a little bit. But I'm excited to be here with you, and we're going to get into this. What is the topic for today, my dear?
Today we're talking about. Well, first of all, it's Shine Day.
Hmm.
Um, the 5-prong healing system that you mentioned corresponds with the 5 days of the week. So B is Monday, cleanse is Tuesday, fuel is Wednesday, move is Thursday, and Friday is Shine Day. And for this Shine episode, we're talking about small acts that make a big impact in transforming communities.
Mm.
So we have a moral obligation to each other to make an effort together toward the collective goals that we have. One of the collective goals that we have is something that we can boil down to a single word called sustainability. Sustainability can simply mean that, pardon me, sustainability can simply mean that we are sustaining ourselves in terms of our food. We are sustaining ourselves in terms of practicing collective economics. We are sustaining ourselves in terms of our ability to lend a helping hand in labor or childcare, and we are being there for each other in terms of our mental and emotional and spiritual connection to the earth, the universe, and one another. These basic human rights are often, first of all, the information and the conceptual knowledge about them is obfuscated, right?
And that's kind of like what's obfuscation, because that is not a word that gets used.
People know what obfuscation is, but
I did not know what obfuscation is. For if
okay.
anybody listening is like me, it's kind of like when the meanings get mixed up. So, something that, so for example, if I use letters to represent actual things, imagine with me. If A is the actual thing, right? And it has its own meaning, and A typically means B, right? If A means B, um, and people say instead or act as though A means C.
Mhm.
So A means something else
So I'll give you a real world example.
that gets inverted.
Abortion does not mean healthcare or reproductive healthcare.
Yeah, there's
That's
no actual health going on.
that's an obfuscation, right? It obfuscates the meaning of healthcare as well as the act of abortion. It's an obfuscation. So so that's what that means.
That was a heavy hitter. Yeah, so
Well,
and another example is like in saying that uh, being so maybe saying that self-care or self-love is um, to the point that okay, here's one that's juicy. Okay, here's one that's juicy. So individual, when you break down the word and you look at the real meaning of individual,
mhm.
it's in, which is like kind of like not. Um, div, I don't remember what word it stems from, but it meant like not divided, and then dual, um, like non-dual, like a wholeness. So it's not like a split with two different pieces, right? So not divided, non-dual. So individual truly means to be whole within oneself and to recognize the divine self that you're always connected to, that you are, and the body, physical self as one, not divided.
And it's obfuscated to mean in the public what?
Just this body, just me, just this personality, and that's it. So
Right.
individualism is in our society cut off from what it truly is, which is the full embodiment of the divine self and this personal self as one thing that cannot be divided, that can never be separate from your source, your creator.
Right. And so
Yeah.
I was saying that the conceptual meanings of um, what it means to be there for each other and things like that are obfuscated, and we have ways to connect with and be collectively sustainable with
Mhm.
our local communities. And before we even begin, I just want to give a shout out to Farm Fresh 24/7.
Yes.
Lawrence, aka Nature Boy, who started that movement out there in Georgia, is making great strides. So I definitely want to encourage everybody to go check out Farm Fresh 24/7.
Yeah,
Um,
online, or if you're not in Georgia, or if you're in Georgia,
mhm,
hit them up.
definitely. Uh, and what they do over there, very simply, is provide different voluntary services, and or sell, like they'll make food and sell it and do a whole bunch of great stuff that's in the local community as well as in the local communities that are connected to his app. He made an app as well available on the App Store and things like that. So um, uh, he does a lot of farming as well as, I don't know if farming still pertains to herbalism, but herbing, farming and
And herbalism.
taking care of herbs and growing them. He also and so he provides things like eggs and milk and fruits and veggies and things like that to the community, and people know where his farm is and they go to it and they participate. They also help and volunteer plant things
to
and
help care for the farm and connect.
yeah, and they live um, in such a way that as a community, they're practicing sustainability within their own lives, as well as contributing to a greater sustainability for the community's life,
Mm.
which is a very beautiful thing, and which is what I'm talking about, or we are talking about in today's episode. Small acts that leave a big impact in transforming communities with collective effort. So, very, very, very good thing. And the first thing that he said when he was explaining how he got there is that 80% of people, or excuse me, 80% of the work is done by 10% of the people, which is amazing, right?
Wow.
It's something that's always been true, right? That's why, and I'm an abolitionist, but that's why governments are usually throughout history quite small in comparison to the greater population that they quote unquote serve. That's why leadership in any sort of job environment that's not just run by one single like CEO or one single president is done by a few, and the rest of the work and the rest of the things are divvied out to individuals to individuals, right? To people to do like smaller tasks and things.
Mhm.
I'm talking about small operations, not huge. That's what I mean by not necessarily run by a single like CEO or president. Like it's a small operation. There's a small amount of people doing a whole lot of work and serving a whole lot of people who are customers.
Okay, yeah. So
That's
you're
what I meant.
thinking like a more of a small nonprofit or like a small business where
Exactly.
they have their team, but they're doing they're doing most of the stuff.
Yeah.
And then
80% of the work's
mhm,
always done by 10% of the people. And it just means that uh, at least in terms of collective sustainability or sustainable community, it doesn't take a whole lot of people to start a positive change.
mm,
It does not take a whole lot of people to start a positive movement. And it does not take a whole lot of people to sustain a positive change that has occurred,
mm,
right? And he talked about how he used to go door to door. That didn't really get him anywhere. And then he figured out like his kind of sweet spot on social media that started to get some followers. And then it started growing organically on its own as people started to connect to the farm and come and volunteer and then start little either farms or herb gardens or whatever in their own backyard in their own space.
mm.
And it just kept growing, and now there's like tens of thousands of people that rock with them. So very, very good stuff.
Yeah. And so I'm thinking we all, whenever I talk to someone in the community, everyone has something that makes them feel connected and purposeful and in alignment with what they're called to do in life. Um, and and there are so many amazing business owners and nonprofits that are in our local communities. No matter where you are, there's at least a few, that are really in alignment with what you're looking for, as well, or what you're seeking to do in some way. They're complementary. And so if we can just get together and recognize that there's power in small groups, we can really spark big change. And so it doesn't have to be this idea of having to, I mean, what we typically think of is, hey, let's do an event, let's collaborate with these other organizations, and then when the event is done, we're all kind of back into our own silos and that's it. But what if we started to sustain our small communities in a similar way? Like, it may not solely be around, a food, but food is something that gets people together. Okay, so you may not be a farmer, you may not, be in that circumstance, but there are community gardens. um, there is and this creates accessibility to food deserts in your area, people that don't have access to healthy food, let
There are
alone
holistic
produce.
healers like
Yes,
us.
galore. And there are artists galore. So
Yep.
if we can all just
And
kind
there are
of
teachers galore.
teachers galore, educators galore, community organizers galore. So if we can come together and really start to build momentum with forming a small community that is continuously enriching us, so that it's not so tied into this, okay, let me pay for this, and then I'm gonna leave like it's just a transaction, but it's really rooted in, hey, I'm committed to seeing our whole little community grow and prosper, and I want to contribute, so here's what I can do, you know, that sort of route, and continuing that going, so where it's lifting the burden off of individual shoulders, and we're able to help pick up this piece of the load, or this
Yeah,
piece of the load, you know, together. Yeah.
absolutely. And you yourself, you might be wondering, well, I have such a large to-do list. I don't really have time to connect with people, let alone actually do sustainable gardening or something like that.
Hmm.
But there are things that you do on a daily basis, or skills that you've developed over your life, that can contribute to a sustainable community. So you
Absolutely.
don't have to
That you're already
necessarily,
doing.
yeah, you don't necessarily have to change your routine. You simply can contribute what you can, i.e., let's say, a working mom who makes really, really, really good dish, right? A really, really, really good, I don't know, chicken dish or something like that. Just connecting with people and letting them know when you're making that dish, so that they can come buy some and have, meal prepped for at least another 2 days or something like that, is a way to help sustain the community, especially if also the next time you go shopping, you're connecting with the people that are in the local sustainable community that are growing the herbs and foods that you need, right?
Or
The
that are
rosemary, the whatever.
or making the soap, or
Hmm.
making the body butter, or, whatever it is, the piece that's missing.
Hmm. That are and then now you're a part of it, right? You didn't necessarily change your routine. You didn't have to add hours to your days. You simply connected to the community. The community knows a small piece of what you've learned to do and want to contribute,
Mhm.
and they come in and get things from you. You go and get things from them when it's time for you to go and get things, instead of just going to the grocery store or just going to Amazon. And that's all the change that was needed. So and here's the thing too, when it comes to like Amazon and all of that, your local community members, like we sell whole body butter, right? If you're in the Austin, Texas area, we will drive the whole body butter to your house. People
Yeah.
in the sustainable community, especially who are in the movement of sustaining themselves and building sustainable communities and changing how they're um, connecting with each other and changing how silent they are about certain unhealthy lifestyle practices, these people will drive to you like Amazon. These people will invite you to drive to them like Amazon. Very, very, hey,
Good day,
uh,
love.
very, very
Oh,
positive things can
yes.
happen just from you and others becoming aware uh, about each other and the contributions that you want to make.
Yes. And just to give some more examples, like we've done a similar thing on a smaller scale with previous events that we put on, where we collaborated with different independent artists, and we just kept collaborating with them again and again. Hey, you need this piece, I need this piece, or let's come together for this event, and then that thing, and then this thing. And I've also seen it on such a beautiful level with the here in Austin. There's the Black Mamas Village, and they have co-working spaces, childcare, food pantry, like events for kids, events for the adults, massages for the adults, and they're really working together in this volunteer driven effort to sustain themselves. And it's happening. And it's like a journey that's a little rocky. There's the thoughts of like, oh, can I trust these people that I don't know? Well, you got to test that, right? And see. Can I, and the time thing that you mentioned, all these different limiting beliefs that if we hold on to them, they will keep us back and keep us in fear forever. And I noticed that because for the longest time, I was just like, I can do this on my own. We can figure it out on our own. We don't have to lean on anyone else. I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to like be that person that's asking for stuff. But there's a certain point in life as a working mom, as a human being, where we have to become like cognizant of each other. We have to be able to acknowledge and work with each other and partner with each other and lean on each other sometimes and support each other. That contribution is such a need within us. We all at some point want to be able to contribute to the things that we are enjoying and are getting good fruits from, right? So this is a way, and there's people doing it out here, y'all.
Yeah.
And we are on a mission to do that as well, to come into sustainable community.
So if you make the best biscuits in town, let the town know. Um, really, really appreciate you guys for rocking out with us for another episode of the Holistic Freedom Seekers podcast. It's episode 40. It's a good milestone. Can't wait to get back at you on Monday for B Day, and we'll talk about something in relation to mental, emotional, spiritual connections.
Yes.
Put in the comments, how you are into what you're interested in regard to sustainable community, collective sustainability, and/or
oh yeah, go ahead.
and/or things like agriculture, cooking, lifestyle changes, movement in terms of like exercise, whatever. Just put in community-based things that you're interested in regard to what we talked about today, so that we can build community in the comments.
Yeah. I am so curious about y'all's superpowers because everybody got a superpower. Everyone has something that they're like, oh my gosh, when I'm around that person, they do that thing. It just it gets done, or it feels so good, or it ripples out in some way that's impactful. So yeah, let us know in the comments, and we'll see you on Monday for B Day. Take good care.